Holy shit, gamers, I wasn't expect to hear much about all the new content coming to Fortnite Battle Royale until next week. I was completely wrong. This is going to be a content heavy video, so go get some popcorn, grab a drink, take a bathroom break, and then sit back, relax, and enjoy. Also, if you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Every little bit helps me out. First off, social features. It will become easier to make and or find friends to play with. The aim is to make it easier to play again with other players you had a great game with. Add them as friends and import friends list from other social networks. This will be nice for the gamers who don't have friends that play Fortnite already, though if you have a friend who doesn't play, is he or she really a friend? Let's ask that question. You know what else lets you know someone isn't a friend? Team killing. Epic admits they dropped the ball on addressing team killing. They take action based on player reports, but it isn't really straightforward to use, and it doesn't really follow up on whether or not any action was taken. They want to improve that. This is leading to casting a wider net. They didn't really dive into details about what that might be, but to catch current and past team killers, and numerous warnings and bans were issued this past week. They are also working on an analytical model to weed out the worst of the team killers, and long term to have a matchmaking system that works on teaming you with players based on good reputation. This basically opens up the ability to use the fill option without having to worry about someone shooting you in the back. The shooting is good in this game, but it's not great, and Epic realizes that. There have been multiple patches addressing accuracy changes, recoil, and bloom over the life of the game. It was mentioned in previous patch notes that they wanted to make the move from hit scan to projectile-based shooting. Projectile being like sniper rifles where you have to lead your target and or target above their head based on the distance away from you. They don't specifically address that change in these notes, but they do talk about internally play testing to improve the shooting while maintaining the usefulness of building cover under fire. They also want to avoid changing engagement distance or the flow of the game. They point out that the initial tests are promising, but it needs fine-tuning. They hope to have a test client and servers for feedback in December. I am excited to see what they come up with, and I assure you I will be one of the first players on the test server helping them iron it all out. There is a big rework going on of the current inventory system, as you can see on the screen in front of you. The new interface is much cleaner and makes many of the management tasks easier to perform. Dropping items is performed by dragging outside of the box. It is not mentioned if that is only a PC feature, but likely is, and there are quick buttons for splitting and dropping half of any loot to make sharing it easier. Rearranging the quick bar with a controller will also be much more simple as well. This next topic was actually a conversation my squad and I were having just last night. Post-match stats. In Works is the first post-match stats screen that will be visible once you die. The first iteration of the screen shows stats like eliminations, assists, revives, accuracy, hits, critical hits, distance traveled, materials gathered, materials used, damage taken, damage to players, and damage to structures. I love this idea myself because I'm a very support-oriented player, and that doesn't really show when all you see are kills. It is also just nice to see more information on the game and what you might be able to improve on. They specifically mention that they've received much of their inspiration for the end screen from ideas on Reddit and their forums, and ask that we keep the suggestions coming. This next one is a goodie, guys. If you are tired of dropping in the same places to start the game, that will soon change. New unique points of interest will be added to the map to fill some of the empty space and to introduce some more variety into the gameplay. Now, they won't just be unique to an area found on the map, but rather the style of buildings and surrounding area will also look different. If you look at the screen in front of you, this is one of the example shots that they showed. This is a city point of interest. There are also plans in the works to update the existing areas with unique art for the flora and fauna to make all the regions much more unique and recognizable. While not essential to the gameplay itself, cosmetics will also be receiving a nice overhaul as well. The original version of the gliders focused on repaints. The next step is to add more unique detail while still preserving the original mesh or look. So I think what we're going to see is some more unique shapes, some more unique additions rather than just paint jobs. This post addresses the desire for variations with strong personality and very strong or cool and beautiful detail, and in their own words, some badass stuff. Full remodels of gliders, pickaxes, and characters will achieve this vision, so keep checking the store for updates. Oh, coming up next, this is also a very big change, guys, the audio. For a while now, I have thought that footsteps were just messed up for me, but it turns out that many people have had issues, and for that reason, audio changes are incoming. Improvements are being made on mixed clarity and to provide better tactical information for the sounds in the game. One of my main issues that is being addressed is not being able to differentiate the direction of the footsteps, especially in vertical solutions. Not in a specific order, but first the changes are being made to the sound the footsteps make on different surfaces. Wood, stone, metal, and water footsteps will be coming soon. The next one is probably my favorite audio change incoming. Teammates' footsteps are going to be quieter. The way I have my volume set up, and I'm sure it's the same for many of you, is that it's almost too loud to the point that it hurts my ears. In order to hear enemy footsteps, I had to pump up the volume, but that won't be needed as much anymore. No plan on what to do yet, but vertical audio is also being looked into. The trap audio is being tweaked to make them less consistently noisy and to balance the volume in a way that it still gives players a chance to react to traps. The launch pad audio is being adjusted so that if a player is listening, it will be more apparent when other players are flying in and about to land around you. The weapon audio panning issue, where shots can sound like they are coming from directions from which they are not, is an immediate problem and the team is working on it. Limited time modes are being introduced to the game sometime in December. They will be a temporary experience with special conditions that provide new ways to play the game. And as stated by them, they plan to run fun experiments, which makes me excited to see what they're going to throw our way. And as you'll see later in what I'm talking about, I think this is going to include ability and ways to earn skins and other rewards without having to purchase them in the store. Alright, take a look at this next graphic. This shows the server hitching issues that the game has. Red meaning 3% and above, while solid green means 0. We can see that it has improved greatly, but there are still major issues at the beginning of each match. Map streaming. A large foundational change they are working on and working hard to ship is extensive streaming. What this means is that when you move throughout the map, all the content is loaded or streamed in and out depending on your proximity to it. Right now, this is only done for textures, and there is a lot of opportunity to save memory by extending it out from there. There are a host of technical challenges obviously related to this persistence, making sure damaged areas are streamed back in as such, performance, which means eliminating hitches due to background streaming, and making sure the streaming system works fast enough to support things like rocket riding. Regions. They are still working on the matchmaking system and expect to run more data centers in the first quarter of 2018. This is something I've been mentioning to those of you that have talked about the issues. They didn't have enough servers around the world to really handle the growth of the game because it wasn't expected. One of the big changes incoming or coming up before then is making sure they have better quality of service and experience in Asia. Controls. Aim assist behavior is being adjusted to be more similar to other games that we are used to as gamers. This is going to take a little bit longer than they thought, but they would rather get it right, and they are still tweaking it to avoid shipping it too early. I greatly appreciate that because no one likes it when they ship a patch too early and it ends up breaking the game more. My biggest hope here is that downed enemies no longer draw your aim from their live teammates as you're in the middle of a firefight. Free loot. Keyword right here. Free loot is coming. The next season is going to combine a single purchase pass system containing tons of loot that can be acquired as we play and complete quests. There are also plans to add free seasonal loot that can be earned by just playing the game. Now there will be options for everyone from the spender, the hardcore player, and down to the casual player to get new skins and more. They talk about their early efforts exploring how to expose tournament support, custom matches, and leaderboards, and then combining those with the ability to modify some of the game rules as an offering. Custom games and tournament support also lean on the spectator support, so they are working on a fully functioning spectator system, and they look forward to sharing more details about that starting next year. So for the near-term focus, they are looking to provide a rock-solid 30 FPS experience on consoles. They are figuring out the best ways to give you more of a choice on the latest next-generation consoles as well. They are also talking about adding badges and medals to the game. They want to introduce medals that they can give out during games that highlight amazing plays, as for an example, a mid-air kill with the rocket launcher. I know that was a lot, everybody, but man, that was amazing. The stuff they have coming for this game, the amount of communication that they have given to us as the players, it just amazes me. But before I end, I want to end with something that they talked about. They mentioned that our feedback is what allows them to improve the game and prioritize their efforts. And our enjoyment and our support is what keeps them motivated to run the pace that they are at. Make sure you guys keep commenting on their Twitter. Comment on their forums, talk about the stuff you want to see changed, but also give them compliments for the changes they are making. They are trying to be as transparent and accountable as possible, and they can only do that with our help. And as for all of you, I appreciate everyone. I appreciate all the new follows and all the old. I appreciate everybody that have commented on all my different videos. It really helps me keep putting out more content. And as always, just keep on gaming.